not get cold feet. Johnson and Frost hold the handle of a knife can turn the tide before backing out. Nothing can go wrong. Boris Johnson said, jumping into the driver's seat of a tram he was about to take for a test ride. Nothing can go wrong. Brexit Minister Lord Frost said more talks would be held with the EU as the UK and the bloc struggled to overcome differences over the Northern Ireland Protocol. During the lengthy period during which all of these procedures were being worked through, the EU would be faced with a hole in the border of the EU single market along the Irish border. This would place massive pressure on Dublin to impose checks on the border with the North in order to avoid question marks over full Irish membership of the single market. There are, therefore, good reasons for the EU to go for a much more radical response. But there are further stages to go before such a point is reached. It comes as the DUP leader warned time is marching on when it comes to negotiations over the protocol. Lord Frost also told the House of Lords that triggering Article 16, which would effectively suspend elements of the arrangements, would be the UK's only option if the dispute was not resolved. Lord Frost told the Lords there was a real opportunity to turn away from confrontation, to move beyond our current difficulties and put in place a new, and better, equilibrium in the talks. And he said it was not inevitable that Article 16 is triggered. He said, in my view, this talks process has not reached its end. In the Lords today, Lord Frost gave one of his sit-reps in tones of pained reasonableness, in contrast to you push me pull you threats from the EU and Ireland of a trade war, but we hope not. Frost is right to say that the threat of a trade war is disproportionate. He can claim he has won concessions from the EU, but he is chancing his arm to negotiate in such a provocative and patronizing manner. For example, they do not eliminate a single customs declaration for any good moving into Northern Ireland. The famous 50% figure is actually a 50% reduction in the number of fields in the customs declaration, with most of the significant ones still remaining. It is not a 50% elimination of process. There is at least another round in which the EU may offer further mitigations which the UK may finally accept, leaving the DUP with nowhere else to go. This might happen as early as Friday when Frost next meets EU Brexit negotiator Maros Sefcovic, but probably not. The time scale to Armageddon is more protracted, a month of talks if Article 16 is invoked, a further year is needed to terminate the withdrawal agreement. The UK therefore may be able to play EU law against the EU. There is much in the current row, over the protocol, that suits his style. For most of the year, he brandished the threat to trigger Article 16 of the protocol, which allows a side to suspend part of the agreement if it is causing serious social or economic damage. What should be an escape valve for specific problems is seen by Johnson as a lever to try to rewrite the deal. This moment is moving closer and has provoked bellicose retaliatory threats from the EU, though Frost has said the UK is not there yet. But if and when Johnson triggers the process, he can start small and ratchet up. The mechanisms allow for delays before each EU response, which means he can back away if the price, be it targeted retaliatory tariffs or more disruptive checks at Calais, seems too high. The second lesson is that Johnson will retreat when outgunned. The history of his Brexit negotiations is of talking tough and then giving in. The fight over the protocol highlights just how thoroughly he caved in when he signed it in 2019. A year later he accepted a trade agreement that secured few advantages. For all his fighting talk of walking away with no deal, Johnson never did. Since his core demands go beyond what the EU is prepared to grant, it is a reasonable bet that the same will be true again. His allies may cheer a premier battling Brussels, but they and the media could quickly turn in the face of economic damage and empty shelves. This means his own cheerleaders need to give him the room to retreat when he is ready.